Hello everyone, my name is Al-Shaikhli and we are delivering today Unit 11 Cybersecurity and Incident Management for BTEC Level 3 National and Information Technology. Before we start discussing the unit, we need to recheck previous knowledge based on Unit 1 and other units, but the main topics here are VPN, which is Virtual Private Network. Virtual Private Network is the application that you install on your laptop, which allows you to access a local area network remotely, and it encrypts the data and provides a secure network. Once you install this application on your laptop or on your computer, it will be identified by the server on the LAN, so you can access the LAN securely. LAN is Local Area Network, which is a limited network that set within limited geographical areas, such as within a company, and the company owns the network. One wide area network, and then public and private network. Public network, which is type of networks that you can connect to it through wireless, like in a hospital or shopping mall. Private network and cellular network is the network that you are using the data from your phone. Firewall, type of application that protects your network from malicious attack like hackers, and antivirus that mainly protects your computer from malware and viruses. User authentication and user permission level depends on the job description and on the level of the staff who are using and who are accessing the network. Like student account, when they access to the college system, they can use certain level of accessing files and resources and even internet. Then when it's for teaching staff, then when it's for the management level. GDPR and data protection, this is the data protection and to do with the personal information that cannot be revealed or shared with third party, and the company who own personal information or any organization, when they have stored the personal information of their staff or patient or customer, they are by law not allowed to share it with a third party. So moving to Unit 11 again, this unit covers the cybersecurity threat and vulnerabilities, the method used to protect systems, and how to plan for, investigate, and manage potentially devastating security incidents. This unit aims to progressively develop 5 core skills. We'll cover in this presentation or within the next couple of lessons 2 of them, because they are related to learning aim A. The first one is understanding different network architectures and how to secure them. The second skill is knowing cybersecurity threats and system vulnerability and security. So the first learning aim is learning aim A, which is aimed that the learner should understand cybersecurity threats, system vulnerabilities, and security protection measures. The key content areas of learning aim A: first one is cybersecurity threats, system vulnerability, legal responsibilities, physical security measures, and software and hardware security measures. The recommended assessment approach, obviously by assignment brief provided by Pearson, and we all know this unit 11 is externally assessed. Learner will produce formal reports that contain an exploration of cybersecurity threats, how an organization can implement security measures to counteract these threats, an assessment of organization network types and their vulnerabilities, an implementation plan and evaluation of cybersecurity plan for a specified organization. So you will be given a scenario, specific scenario, and based on that you apply these kind of skills and applications. The first lesson and series actually of lesson will focus on part A of the exam, and we'll take it per activity, so activity 1, 2, and 3, and then we'll move on for the following sessions with part B. So in part A contain 3 activities. The first one is risk assessment. Risk assessment is 8 marks and it lasts for 1 hour and 30 minutes. Following that is activity 2, which is security plan, 20 marks. and this will last for 2 hours and 30 minutes. Activity 3 is management report, which is 12 marks, 1 hour only. There is a way of mark for the technical language in part A. These are 3 marks, and the total mark for part A is 43. If you look at the structure of part A paper or exam, you'll find it is really logically structured. I mean, if you think about it as a common sense, anything in life you do, you first do the risk assessment, you check what might go wrong, then you make security plans, so you prepare what you can do in order to avoid this risk. In business, sometimes they call it contingency plan. And then management report, when you put everything together and how you can manage this security plan. So you check the risk, you put a plan, and then you manage it. The learning aim, as we said, is understanding cybersecurity threats, system vulnerabilities, and security protection. We covered these. So what the learners are required to aim and to learn in learning aim. First, they need to demonstrate their knowledge and understanding of the technical language. So they emphasize on this, really important. Even if you answer correctly, if you keep your language in a general level, you will lose marks. So always make sure that you mention the technical language related to the scenario and link it to the scenario as well. Security threat and system vulnerability. So these 3, technical language, security threat, and what's the system vulnerability. Legal implications and security protection methods. So these are elements you really need to consider every time when you are answering in your exam. Have you mentioned technical language? Are you writing them properly? What are the security threats? Have you identified them clearly? Did you identify the system vulnerabilities? What's the weakness of the system, the network system of the company, relating to the organization, to the scenario you are provided? Is there any legal implication? And security, what are the security protection methods? The second point is investigation of different cybersecurity threats. So you have to investigate and find out based on the scenario again. So always you have to link your answer to the scenario by exploring each type of threat and linking it with real-world example. That's the scenario will be given. Where the personal, also find out if there is any personal, financial, operational, reputational, legal, or criminal impacts. You have to identify these are clearly, right? You have to distinguish and being able to identify which one is financial impact, which one is operation, the threats that you are identifying. Does it affect on the organization on personal level and financial level, operational, reputational, legal? So you really need to make a map, create a map in your mind right from the beginning when you are writing your answer. This will reinforce the severity of each threat. It means you will say, is it really high risk, is it low risk, etc. We'll learn more about this once we see the sample. The third point is using various approaches to understand how external threats function. For example, there are many online videos which illustrate how malware malicious software works, or discuss how to successfully hack websites or use social engineering techniques. So we'll cover this as well. There is lots of independent study the learner has to cover, because this is really a very popular topic and you can find lots of resources, and it is part of your learning process to make an independent reading and research about the cybersecurity threats, because it will enrich your vocabulary and your understanding once you are setting your task, which is the external exam. The fourth point, system vulnerability, are best tackled by exploring each category in turn. So we are recommended, and you as a learner, you have to take it in turn. So you start with network, organizational, software, operating system, and selecting particular exploits that can be replicated by learner. So practical example could include, and you will be surprised, these practical examples will be repeatedly found on the external exam, previous past paper, because these are the famous ones. So deliberately infecting a target machine on a quarantine network with an infected download. This is an example of a threat, cybersecurity threat. Performing an SQL injection on a locally hosted web application. This is another example. Accessing administrative web interface on an Internet of Things (IoT) devices such as webcams via default password. Explore up-to-date sources of information for non-hardware and software vulnerabilities to exploit and understand suitable supervision. So this is a guidance on what we can do so you as a learner understand practical examples of security threats on cybersecurity. Demonstrate more traditional forms of vulnerability, such as theft of portable hardware, by considering appropriate physical security measures designed to mitigate these vulnerabilities, such as security locks, CCTV, and protective cabling. So for the learning aim A, we continue. You are required to understand relevant legislation of your own company. That's when you are provided with a scenario, and appropriate that and appreciate that legislation may be different around the world, because the data protection in UK different from Europe, different from Middle East, different from China, different from USA, etc. Understand that there is an expectation in other countries that their legislation will be observed in addition to local requirements. Revisit the threats and vulnerability identified earlier and demonstrating software, hardware measures that can provide protection against them. Alright, a good example how to protect. These are just an example, just a few of many, how to protect, what kind of protection you can use against cybersecurity threats. Encryption and decryption of data, disinfecting malware from computer systems, installing and configuring firewalls to block bad network traffic, improving user authentication, changing user permission, enabling MAC filtering and wireless encryption, hardening server-side scripts to filter SQL injection. The first learning aim learning aim A is A1, cybersecurity threats. So you'll need to discuss how internal threats occur. For example, sabotaging your company data, theft, natural disasters such as flood or fire, unauthorized access, system vulnerabilities, and unsafe practice. All these considered as an internal, it means happening inside the company. There are two types of threats, internal and external. The external threats can be malicious software, different types, hacking by individual or commercial and government-sponsored, sabotage and social engineering.